It seems like every day we hear the same story. The SBA is continuing to stonewall millions of small businesses and puts up every roadblock possible to prevent us from getting the money that we were promised over a year ago. Why? Well, part of it is, of course, the typical government bureaucracy and incompetence. But it goes much further than that. What is going on and why are they delaying our money? When will we finally get our $10,000 EIDL grants and the $5,000 bonuses? All this information and more in today's video. Hello and welcome to Stephen Carlson Show. I'm Stephen Carlson. I'm a tech entrepreneur, real estate investor, author, YouTuber, paramedic, and Bonnie and Clyde are being lazy. They're just taking a nap right now. Look guys, I know I say this a lot, but the only way we are going to get our $10,000 EIDL grants and the $5,000 bonus is by standing together and making our voices heard. Make sure you comment down below with the hashtag #TeamEIDL and share this video with everyone on your social media accounts. Tag your local news stations, your politicians, and demand someone in DC finally get off their ass and make the SBA do their jobs. And of course, before I go any further, a very quick reminder, as my regular viewers will know, I have a team of outstanding lawyers that used to be kept chained up in the basement with Clyde as their guard dog, but since I'm now in Florida, you know, the land of excessive humidity, it's not exactly known to have basements around here, so I guess the lawyers get to hang out by the pool. Bit of an upgrade, whatever. Anyways, the point of this is the problem with having these lawyers around, they get a little bit rowdy whenever I make a video, and the only way to calm these stinking lawyers down is to give a quick disclaimer. The opinions in this video are exactly that. They are opinions. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a tax advisor. This is not legal financial tax advice. You get to the point. Also, while I have you here, why don't you check out the link down below and deposit $100 in Webull, and they will give you 2 free stocks and help support the channel. Makes me very happy, makes Bonnie and Clyde happy. But of course, I know there's some of you guys don't exactly like stock investing for whatever reason. Market's down right now, perfect time to buy, but whatever. Anyways, check out the other video down below where you can get the equivalent of 40 free lottery tickets every single week. Okay, all that out of the way, let's get to today's video. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is under fire for missing an April deadline to testify before the House and Senate Small Business Committee, even though she was required to do so under the coronavirus relief bill that was passed by Congress back in December. Remember, that was that $900 billion stimulus package which former President Donald Trump signed into law on December 27, 2020. And in the law, it stipulates that the Treasury Secretary and the Small Business Administration Administrator must testify before the House Small Business Committee and the Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship, no later than 120 days after the date of enactment of this act. Although the 120-day deadline passed April 27th, Yellen and Isabel Guzman have not appeared before any committee. They just don't really seem to care. And that is really starting to frustrate Congress, and it frustrates all of us. Representative Blaine Lukemeyer, the House Committee's ranking member, said in a statement to Fox Business that the SBA and Treasury Department have a, quote, duty to be transparent, end quote, about the administration's relief efforts, and particularly when the nation's hardest hit small businesses are working tirelessly to get back on their feet. In a Thursday letter to Yellen from Senator Rand Paul, the Senate Small Business Committee ranking member asked her to schedule a date to testify sometime in May or June. He's giving her a little bit of flexibility. The letter says, in part, I am committed to working with you to identify a mutually agreeable date for you to fulfill your obligation to appear before the committee. Unfortunately, previous efforts to work with your department to schedule your testimony has been unsuccessful to date. That's a pretty way of saying, look, you're supposed to show up, we're being nice to you, but come on, WTF. So why are they delaying going before Congress? As I said before, some of this could be easily attributed to the usual government bureaucracy and incompetence. Remember, over the past year, the SBA has been thrust into the public light in a way they never have had before. Obviously, not all of the problems with the SBA are because of the current administration. But honestly, neither were they the responsibility of the previous administration. They can't be blamed for it either. The problem is there's been decades of mismanagement from both political parties, and now the American people are starting to see what a mismanaged mess the SBA is. As I said before, this is not a Republican nor is it a Democrat issue. In fact, both parties have just allowed the SBA to fall into this pit of despair without anyone ever bothering to sit and fix the problems.
wonder now, because if you haven't seen me ranting and raving on Twitter over the last several days, they have only paid out 100,000 people the targeted EIDL advance. The application started on February 1st. It's now May the 10th, and they've got 100,000 or thereabouts, and you can find all that information at SBA.gov, which means of the 4.5 million that the SBA claims applied for the $10,000 targeted EIDL advance, 4.4 million have gotten one giant fucking goose egg. So Patrick, I know your focus is on all of the reasons for denial. People being accused of being late on child support when they never had kids. People like Bubba Wilson in Mississippi who are accused of being an illegal alien. The guy was born in Mississippi. He's 6'5". He's got reddish brown hair. There's nothing about him that reeks illegal alien, immigrant, non-U.S. citizen, or whatever woke, politically fucking correct language you happen to be using today. The point is this. Of the 846,000 that the SBA claims they flagged in the targeted EIDL advance with respect to fraud, all you got to do is look up and down our wall or read my inbox. At least half of them are bullshit. They're absolute mistakes. I don't know if it's incompetence, corruption, or both. So when you really get down to it, as I said before, about 10, no more than 15%. Of the 4.5 million are potential fraud. I'll give you that. But Blaine Lukenmeyer and others like Rand Paul, and I want to see Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, all the scrappers on the GOP side. Because, folks, we're at a crossroads here. We need to put aside our politics. You got to stop standing up for Biden and or Schumer and or Pelosi, because here's the truth. They control every branch of government. They are refusing, for whatever reason, to bring S-513 to the floor.
As Jason pointed out here, the Democrats control all three branches of government. So what's holding them up? In one simple word, it's politics. Let me make it clear. I'm not picking sides here. Honestly, roles reversed and the McConnell Republicans were in charge, we'd probably be seeing very similar infighting and complete inaction. Good, bad, or indifferent, the Democrats want to implement wholesale changes across every facet of American life and throughout the country. I'm not going to argue the pros and cons of their policy choices. Some of them I agree with. Most I don't. But I'm simply here to point out the reason why almost no one is getting the small business stimulus that we were all promised over a year ago. Unfortunately, many small businesses are now beyond the point where a simple $10,000 grant or even the $5,000 bonus will fix the current economic situation for them. Millions of small businesses were just utterly decimated, not only by the global pandemic, by the incompetence and infighting within our U.S. government between our two ruling parties. Their actions, and basically inactions, delayed the much-needed stimulus. Sadly for us, for both parties, the promise of more money is far more advantageous to them politically rather than actually fixing the problem and helping us out. If the economic situation is resolved, we no longer need them, and they lose their power, and they know this. By delaying the rollout of money, 3 essential items are checked off the checklist for the Democrats. Number 1. If business stimulus was fast-tracked and the economy approved quickly, there would be opposition for the increasing the stimulus spending to nearly $10 trillion. Thus, this would make it much harder to fund many of the wish list items of the current administration. Number 2, with small businesses hurting and going out of business, the goal of a $15 minimum wage is actually easier to achieve. Why, you ask? The reason's simple. Large corporations like Walmart, Amazon, Target, Chipotle, etc. can easily bring their staff minimum wages up to $15 per hour. In fact, many already have. They know this will put a massive pressure on small businesses that simply cannot afford to pay these higher wages. With these small businesses going out of business, the large corporations will be the only game in town. Now with less competition. Trust me, when these large corporations say they support higher minimum wages, it's not because they give a about the employees. No, all they want to do is destroy their competition from small businesses. And number 3, if the money from the December 27, 2020 stimulus helped, Trump would be given credit for it. And that would not be helpful to Democrats. And like I said, I'm not picking sides here. If McConnell and all the old school Republicans were in power, it would be the reverse side. They would be doing the same thing. Whenever there is some sort of horrible disaster or problem going on, politicians use it to their advantage to get more power for themselves. Just how it is. In summary, by slowing the flow of money, Democrats gain more control. And oddly enough, in this case, McConnell, old school Republicans will support this as well, because large corporations profit handsomely, while the rest of us, the small business owners, we're all taken out to slaughter. So what's the status for you guys for your SBA loan and also for the grant? Unfortunately, our $10,000 grant was denied for whatever the heck reason. We're in low income area, had greater than 30% loss, doesn't matter. We were denied both the fast track and the original EIDL $10,000. So we also were not able to get the $5,000, whatever. We did get the original loan, as I've shared with you guys before, but I'm in the process of extending that original 6-month working capital loan that was capped in the very beginning and bringing it up to the 24 months. Well, it's still gonna be capped at $500,000, so it won't be a full 24 months. But anyways, so that's what we're currently working on. Luckily, one of the SBA reps that I've been working with is very kind and she does care. There are some there. Some of the reps really do care about people. It's just they're stuck in the bureaucracy as well. So what's the status for you guys? Were you approved? Were you denied? Do you not know? Is your portal still screwed up? My portal's screwed up, but at least I can speak with my rep and she's been helping me, like I said. Anyways, why don't you comment down below and let me know your status. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you click like and subscribe. Doing so really helps the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it, as do I can almost see them down the hallway, the sleeping dogs that are just taking a nap, even though it's only 7 a.m. and they just got up. Anyways, thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.